Is it going live? Is it spinning? Whoa, what is up? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rise&Shred show. Guys, you can see this. There is no line between us. Jacob does not have his coffee behind him, his coffee bag. I'm not in my studio. We're live from the MBA, sunny San Diego, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. So excited to be. I'm tested. We're good, Jake. We even had to have the test and everything to get into MBA.
Yep, vaccinated.
We just say we had to show our card. This is proof.
Checked.
Proof. You see that? We're pressed. Look at that. Press as well. We are stepping it up. Guys, we got a lot to come on Rise&Shred.
We do.
Not only are we live from MBA, but we're talking about Goldman Sachs predictions. We're going to be talking about it here from the MBA. Big banks are ditching the mortgages, and Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin really the best way to be paying for your mortgage? That and so much more. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time to Rise&Shred. I feel kind of cool, ladies and gentlemen. It's like we got producer Justin behind the scenes because you guys can't see him, but he's actually, normally it's me running everything, but Justin's sitting here. I've got my sunglasses on. We're in sunny San Diego, looking out over the bay. It's actually kind of rainy this morning, Jake. It was kind of a little bit rainy, a little bit drizzly, but we're still excited to be here. Plus, me and Jacob are live together. You guys don't get that very often. So,
never.
Are you excited? Excited to be here?
I am very excited to be here. Thank you for the MBA for giving us a press pass.
Huge shout out to the MBA.
Yep. Great to work with them and to see some coverage later. They do have a press conference. Normally, as memory serves, they would do it first thing.
Yep.
Monday morning. They've pushed it to the afternoon.
Yep.
We don't know why.
Dun, dun, dun.
But we're going to find out.
I say maybe some big things to come. Maybe they're going to be talking about Goldman Sachs.
Well, the MBA will give origination reports. They will give predictions. They will give economic outlook to the press in the afternoon and give us an idea of what to expect in 2022. It is October, and that is really when the outlook reports start to come. People start putting them out for various reasons. So that's the thing you have to remember, is that everyone has a reason for doing an outlook report.
Right.
The Mortgage Bankers Association clearly has a motivation there, and you have to keep in mind that lens.
Sure,
that's what's so important. Now, we want to talk about Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs send out outlook reports, but they don't send them out publicly. They send them out to their investment banking clients, right? So what they're doing is they're giving a whole. So what we do is we suck the housing numbers out of that, right, to find out what's interesting, and we did some coverage of Rise&Shred of the Goldman Sachs report, because we focused on their shocking prediction that home price appreciation is going to continue into next year, which we were expecting it to cool down, slow down
a little bit.
And a lot of people will say there will be house price appreciation, but I think that their prediction is really, really aggressive. They said nearly 20% for this year. That happened.
Whoa.
Their prediction for this year, back in October of last year, was 20%. It ended up hitting around 17, 18%.
Not bad.
Hey, that's not bad for a year look. I mean, that's real crystal ball stuff. So we're looking really close at Goldman Sachs, and they're predicting up to 10% home price appreciation next year.
Well, that's good news.
Well, it's hard to support that because it seems that the data is at odds with the data. And let me explain. So we have home price appreciation going up 10%, but they are saying that the refi market in 2022, and this is what we missed in the initial coverage, but you're hearing it first.
That's why you hear
the refi market in 2022 is going to tank hard. Bad news.
Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's not what we want.
Just in.
But we actually have numbers. Like, it's kind of hearing these numbers, it's like, whoa, is it really going to be that bad?
So everybody had a great year for refinancing last year. $2.6 trillion.
Congratulations, all you.
They're expecting still a few months left.
Sure. Oh, good morning.
Who is that? Who is that?
Whoa, it's a voice from above, ladies and gentlemen. It's a voice from above.
$2.6 trillion in refis this year. Still got 2 months left to go, as you know, November, December. They'll slow down. Next year, they are saying that the refi market will be below $1 trillion. So you're talking, Josh, that is a 60% drop in refinance market. That is a very, very, very bad
not good
statistic.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It is terrible. And I have to wonder with home price appreciation continuing, how could refinancing collapse? The equity is there. We'll have to look into it some more. We'll have to look at. We're right here at the Black Knight, giving us the Wi-Fi so we can broadcast live to you.
Black Knight,
they have, they do origination reports. Everyone does. We'll have to dig deeper into it because I find it hard to believe that the refi market could collapse so totally like that and be below 1 trillion.
We might even have our good friend Chris Whalen. Maybe we can pick his brain on it tomorrow. He might be tomorrow morning, guys. We're gonna have Rise&Shred. We're gonna be doing it 3 days in a row here live from MBA, and we're actually gonna have Chris Whalen joining us for a live session here. Guys, that's why we're the only daily diary of the mortgage industry. You got to subscribe right now. Dal has the link below for you guys, but there's more to come. So we're talking Goldman Sachs. This is an interesting prediction here.
Right.
We'll have more updates on it later today, but big banks are ditching mortgages, Jacob.
Yes. So the earnings season came out for the big banks and they're doing great, making tons of money. Hooray.
Maybe.
Good job, big banks. And when we talk about big banks, all right, Goldman Sachs is a big bank.
Sure.
But when we talk about big banks, we're not talking about Goldman Sachs.
No.
We're talking about the big four. We're talking about Citi, which is not really a mortgage player. But Wells Fargo,
big.
JP Morgan,
Huge.
definitely Bank of America, right? These
the players.
Right. And traditionally, these are the big lenders in our space. Their markets have been declining market share. And for a long time, we thought, well, maybe there is just a trend. But no, the earnings report showed that they are actually fleeing for the door.
They're out of here.
Yeah, well, and I know that's not totally fair because Wells Fargo had a party here at MBA last night.
They did.
They do have some activity.
Sure.
But I do not see them turning around and going like, hey, you know what we should do?
Let's go
into mortgages. I just
Not
don't
happening.
think it's going to happen at the extent that we need. And I think those refi numbers represent that because it used to be really easy for people and it used to be a whole business model of the big banks. Like you bank with JP Morgan. All right. They have your debit card, your checking account, etc. And you want to refi.
Easy.
I mean, you're already online,
of course,
looking at your banking account and a little widget pops up and says you could qualify for a refi.
Easy peasy.
So they're not doing that. I mean, they're not. So whatever it is, they are not looking to capture the refi market as evidenced by the Goldman Sachs numbers. So Goldman Sachs is going to know something about the big bank. Christopher Whalen is going to know something about the big banks. I mean, there's something, and I can imagine it has to do with margins and spreads and that sort of thing. That's kind of beyond my pay grade.
Just a little bit.
Should I ask for a raise?
Ask for a raise. Oh yeah, we should while we're out here, right?
We should ask for a raise. But honestly, I mean, I think there's more there that we aren't understanding, but they're not the only ones ditching the mortgage space in interesting ways.
They're not. As a matter of fact, we in our story this morning, we talked about our good friends over at UWM. They made an announcement a couple months ago, Jacob, about Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
They said, hey, we're going to be accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Dogecoin, which all of you know, I'm a huge proponent of crypto, but I don't know if this was just more of a PR, like, hey, we're going to do this, because it didn't go so well.
It did not go so well. And it's really easy to come out and say, well, the customer doesn't want it.
Right.
And I find that that's been just not limited to any lender in particular, but it's always easy to justify your actions by saying the customer doesn't want it because you can't prove that.
No.
You can't. There's no basis there. So, because you are relying on a non-existent movement to explain your actions.
Absolutely.
So therefore, maybe it was a publicity stunt because it was during an earnings call.
Of course.
That Matt Ishbia, our friend Matt Ishbia, went out and said, we're going to start accepting Bitcoin. He did that securitization.
Yes,
and that was unique and novel to the market. He is a big fan of dropping something unique into the market. I mean, he is fearless when it comes to those things. So when he said we're going to do Bitcoin, we were like, oh yeah, we're doing Bitcoin.
Yeah, let's go. All in.
And you mentioned they did specifically explore three different only good.
Yep.
Bitcoin, which
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. Those are the ones they went into. And I've got to there's a couple things I take away from this. When Matt made the announcement, it was really exciting. We had chatted about Bitcoin, we had chatted about where cryptocurrency and blockchain is going. And it's interesting. Matt even mentioned blockchain at Infuse. He actually mentioned the future of it. And there was a couple of slight hints of it, but at the end of the day, I definitely applaud them for trying it. They said they actually tried it with a few use cases. Here's the problem with that right now is we don't have a system set up, especially within the mortgage industry, to really be able to pay your mortgage efficiently with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin doesn't have the infrastructure itself. It's so hard to actually go. You can't just take a credit card. You can't just go set up online to transfer your Bitcoin, because as we know, Bitcoin is going up and down. Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin goes down. So depending on what the market is doing, depending on what the price is, it just makes it really, really difficult. Now, do I see that potentially in the future happening? Yes, I definitely do. At this point, like you said, I think it was more of like, hey, we're growing, we're trying new things, which again, I love the innovation, but I think they have a few more other projects going on, like the whole appraisal, that I think there's a little bit more focus there instead of the whole Bitcoin thing right now.
I find it hard to believe that anything would be transacted in a currency that is totally digital.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that is going to be the next step,
100%.
like you said, but I think, again, like with many things, mortgage will probably be late to the game.
I agree.
And it felt like Matt Ishbia was kind of testing the water with both feet,
100%.
and jumping right in, and kind of got dumped.
Yeah.
So,
which again, I think it was cool. I think it was exciting. I think it was cool to see that at least he announced, at least he was one to say, hey, we're going to try. And like you mentioned, Matt is fearless. He's super tenacious about trying something new, as we've seen in so many different aspects of UWM. So we'll have to stay tuned. I do think the future of crypto and blockchain, like you said, we are such slow adopters in the mortgage industry. I hope to see more and more of it, because I do think there's more efficiencies. I do think there's opportunity within it. So we'll see. But I mean, there's a lot, from Goldman Sachs to big bank ditches to Bitcoin being ditched now. It's an exciting time. Plus, I got to ask you, so being here last night, we were able to hang out. And last night, personally, what I felt, and I'd love your opinion on this, is it was good to see people, like how people were interacting with one another. It's like, hey, it's good to be back. The relationships that we're used to, the conversations that we're used to, it just felt different. It felt good. What are your thoughts?
For my thoughts were, for the first 4 hours that I was in town last night, I was super awkward, and I apologized to everyone for kind of going in for a hug, pulling back out, going in for a handshake, pulling back out, and then settling on a fist bump. So I've had to reteach myself how to introduce myself to other human beings, and it was totally awkward and weird and strange for everyone who encountered me last night. But I think I may be back into the groove. You, of course, went to a conference, like you said, already, so you were already in the groove. And so it's been a little strange getting back to it, but I think I'm gonna be okay.
Jacob's gonna make it, dude. With the whole fist bump handshake, it's amazing how many people were hugging yesterday. I got more hugs, and I was like, all right, I guess
nobody hugged me. I mean, I may as well have been a porcupine. I mean, there was like,
never mind, nobody hugged.
They're like, hi, Jacob.
Well, with that being the case, I got to give Jacob a hug. Apparently, that's what he's needing this morning. He's a nice big hug. Guys, there's so much more to come. Like we mentioned, tomorrow we're going to have Chris Whalen on the show. We're going to talk about some of this. Today, there's going to be some big announcements. We're going to talk about those tomorrow morning. Plus, we're going to share a lot more about the people. Stay tuned here. Make sure you're checking out our Instagram and LinkedIn feeds, because we're doing stories throughout the day, meeting incredible people.
Subscribe to the Rise&Shred.
Subscribe to Rise&Shred. Right now, the link's below. The #1 and only daily diary with the mortgage industry. You don't want to miss it, because you never know what we're going to share with you. The value, everything that we provide is for you, is for this industry. So go check it out. Go subscribe right now. You don't want to miss a single edition of the Rise&Shred. Jacob, much more to come, dude. I'm excited to hang out with you.
We'll bring you more from the MBA tomorrow.
In person. See, handshake, fist bump, shark attack. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for all of you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See ya.